everyone, it's Tawney. I just took off a band-aid off my face, so I'm sorry if it's a little red there and it looks kind of funny. That's why. I have this pimple situation going on and I kept picking at it. And I was like, I could put an acne patch on it and I feel like that would help, but then I'd still pick at it. So I was like, let me just put a band-aid over it so I don't pick at it. So in that way I won't keep like preventing it from healing, essentially, like without being gross to y'all who don't appreciate that. Trying to be respectful. So yeah, I just covered it up with a band-aid and yeah, I think that kind of helped it. But my face is now red from band-aid. But so I just want to do a little chatty get ready with me. I've had a really rough day today and I just feel like I need to vent slash just talk. So we're just going to be applying makeup, talking, typical my type of videos. I just love to talk. So I went in with the Power Grip Primer with the niacinamide, 4% niacinamide from e.l.f. as my primer today. I've had a very bad day. This week has been kind of like insane, but then today, like really, like it was the cherry on top for the week that I've had. I have just been busy with work and like I was running nonstop yesterday to the point that I barely had time for lunch because I was so all over the place. And today I get to work with the intent to work on notes. Like I had a whole plan out there. I go to check my emails and there's like 5 emails from Wattpad, whatever you call it, the place where you write and read stories. And I had gotten 5 emails from them stating that there was a problem with my stories and they needed to be removed. And I went into it like, what's going on? Like I had gotten emails like that before, that some of my stories needed to be marked mature or needed to have different like tags or things like that so people knew they weren't like for a younger audience. And I always specify on there that like it's 18 and over. Please read this if you're in a good mindset. Don't read it if you feel uncomfortable in any way, like things like that. Because I tend to write vampire and werewolf type stories majority. Sometimes I do romance. Usually that's embedded in something else. Like the romance isn't the main part of the story, but sometimes it's just a plain, boring, Hallmarky type book. Very rarely is that ever the case, but sometimes. Most of what I've been writing lately has been age play stories. Now, if you don't know what that is, there was a time back in the good old days of Tumblr, before Tumblr became crap. Tumblr used to be the hub for anything, I want to say this as politely as possible, anything kinky, anything that was sort of sexual in nature. It was the place you could go to get like R-rated content without going to a porn website. Like that's basically what it was. And a lot of people would upload like stories or pictures. And I always thought that was like so interesting, so fascinating. I loved those type of stories. Like I was like hooked. So I never really like dove into it completely because I was just kind of nervous that like, would I not be good enough? Do I not have any, like, I have no experience. I've only worked with babies from work. I don't really have experience outside of work or personally with children, like baby wise, but a lot of those stories were more about like an adult pretending to be a baby, not so much like an actual baby. I eventually turned my stories into that because I thought the adult baby stuff was a little weird and like, I couldn't talk about certain things because it was uncomfortable for me. So a lot of my stories couldn't be what they like other people wanted them to be because I didn't want them to get to a point that was gross. So over time, I slowly evolved my writing and the stories that I wrote about that were in that kind of genre into things that were more like, okay, this person got turned into a child. This is how they experience it with the mindset of an adult, but not in a gross sexual way. Like it was like, hey, I went from being 16 to being 2. All of a sudden I can't walk. I don't have teeth. What's going on? It was very like, I feel like it wasn't that extreme. And if there was anything extreme that happened, it happened before the baby stuff started. And it was very loosely mentioned. And I always had warnings. I always told people, like, if you're not comfortable, you can message me and I'll explain it to you without being so graphic or without you having to read through all the scenes that were a little bit much. So I felt like I went into it really well. I was always trying to be very accepting of other people, of their mental health. If they had a reason they couldn't view it, like I never judged anybody. Like I understood it couldn't be for everybody, but the rest of the story could be. So I was very willing to like work around that. I was always telling people like, if you need to comment and say, hey, I can't read this, can you tell me what happened? Sure, I'll do that for you. Or one of my viewers would do that as well. Like we were a big community. Like my followers, I have about 2,000 on Wattpad. We're very good about like helping each other, understanding things together, and just being friends. I just went in with the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation, and then I'm going to go in with, I believe, the KVD Good Apple Concealer. It's just my favorite one, so I'm just going to use it today. But I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I was doing things the safe way. I should have known when Tumblr just abruptly deleted the entire section of like adult baby, kinky, sexual, whatever stuff, which I feel like those things don't go hand in hand sexually, but a lot of times people made it in like a sexual way. But like some people did, some people didn't. It was kind of like it went hand in hand essentially, but I knew that it was like fake. Like it was all just fiction. It was just made up stories, stuff that didn't actually happen. Like I knew it wasn't going to happen. So I thought I was okay. I was following the guidelines. I had gotten an email a couple months ago, like September-ish, that told me that like some of my stories needed to be marked as mature just so that people knew that they weren't okay. And I always put trigger warnings, and I thought that was good enough. But apparently Wattpad is like really secure about their like legal system, and they really want to make sure that like they're not getting chewed out for things not being done the proper way, I guess. And they ended up marking my stories for me as mature. Or I think it was like different chapters, which was weird because it's like just mark the whole story. And I was like, at the time I had marked it toward like 16 to like an up or something like that. I'm going to go in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder. I felt like everything was going fine. And for a long time, I didn't have any issues, nothing out of the ordinary. Even after Wattpad like censored some of my stuff in that way, I was like, okay, I was like, this is stupid, but whatever. Like, if you feel it's necessary, I don't mind. It's not hurting me in any way. But I was like, I'll just start marking my future stories then as like over like 18 or something like that. So in that way, everybody knows that this is what I'm doing. This is the age group and age population that I'm going for. So I thought I was doing it right. Well, then this morning when I got, that powder got everywhere, when I got that email that said, hey, we had to remove your stories, I went into full-blown panic mode. And I have been like on high anxiety all this week. And then yesterday, like put me over the edge. Like I didn't have a moment to take a break and take a deep breath yesterday. I just kept going from one thing to the next, bouncing back and forth. And I was just so overwhelmed that come today, I was like, I felt this way all afternoon. I still feel that way, but it's like sizzling out, like it's burning out kind of a thing, where I'm like, I feel like there's like something bubbling inside of me, and it's just like the pressure in there is like insane. If you've ever felt anxiety or anything, you'll know kind of like that kind of feeling. And I don't know if it's anxiety, but I've been told by several people that they think I do have undiagnosed like depression and anxiety and stuff. And like I've had some talks with some people at my work that I just kind of feel like I'm not mentally there sometimes, and I like need something, like maybe not medication, but just need like a release in some way. And like I just need help like chilling out, because I just get overworked sometimes, and like I'm just so anxious and stuff. And wow, my brows actually look nice. I got them done last week and they actually look decent. This one actually doesn't look too bad. It's easy to work with, so that's a good thing, because my brows are not easy to work with. This one does well. This one just has a mind of its own and just wants to hang out. So, but I was like, I sat in my office and like cried. And then my boss pretty much like everything I said today was just a battle. And it was like, I'm not doing anything right. I don't know anything. I was there in every situation yesterday at work the entire day, but I know nothing that happened. You know those bosses. If you watch any of the like corporate type TikToks and reels and anything like that, you know that there are bosses out there that are more about being critical than they are about helping you in whatever situation you're dealing with. And my boss and I have had moments where like things are rough. rougher than they are now. We've had moments where things are better. And I know sometimes my anger gets the better of me, but when I'm straight up told you're not telling the truth, you're lying, maybe not in those words, but like underlying in other words, it makes me mad because like I would never do that intentionally on purpose because like the population we work with, you don't lie. Like you don't do that. Like I'm a social worker. You don't do those things. And sometimes I think she thinks that I don't notice. Like that's not something that I'm like, I don't know, that it's like, oh, well, she won't do that because like she doesn't know to do that. And I'm like, I'm a social worker. I have a master's degree. I'm here a little bit. Like, I have some cognitive stuff going on. Like, I don't know what palette. Okay. I think I'm going to use the Beauty Creations Winter Spice eyeshadow palette. It looks like this on the inside. I'm thinking of doing a green look because it is St. Patrick's Day today. And I wore my green because my boss kept telling everybody that she was going to pinch them if you didn't wear green. And I didn't want to have to deal with it. And then she even made the comment like, oh, you're wearing your green today. And I was like, I wanted to wear my Celtic sweatshirt because I wanted to wear a sweatshirt to work and I wanted to wear green. And this was what I picked out. I literally did not do it to appease my boss, but apparently that's what she thought I did. Sometimes she does that. She thinks that way and it's weird. So I have just been like on high intensity level all week. And then today just topped it off. And I had to go grocery shopping. I met with a friend for lunch and we talked. And it was kind of like, it was a nice talk. We hadn't seen each other in a couple weeks because she had been sick. So it was a way for us to like catch up. And I kind of explained the work situation and told her everything that was going on. And she's like, you know, I agree with you. I think your boss can be like that sometimes. And she's like, it's okay if you feel that way. And she's like, maybe she's not doing it intentionally. Maybe it's just as coming across that way. And you're just taking it hard because people do that. And she's like, it's nothing against you. But she's like, maybe that's the situation. And I was like, you know, that happens all the time with people. It doesn't really matter like what the situation is, who you are. Everybody can get that way sometimes. That just like you're always like left, you know, just like you take things personally. And even if it's not a personal dig, you still take it like it's a personal dig kind of a thing. So we talked and then I went grocery shopping because I'm having a small little party with my family tomorrow. We're going to have like 5 of us over for some drinks and nachos and stuff and just kind of like hang out. And I went to the market and I literally picked a random aisle with nobody in it to just stand there. Like I'm about to cry because I'm like, I'm still so like, I don't know why I'm crying, but I literally picked an aisle so I could just stand there and take a deep breath because I felt like I was like caving in. I'm trying not to cry because I'm doing my makeup. You're going with my makeup tear. Okay, there's a tear coming. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. I was not intending to actually cry. I knew it could happen, but I wasn't intending to do it. But and then I walked over to the ice cream aisle. I always joke. I always say it'll never be the big explosion at work, the big like cluster F that happens that sets people off. No. It will be when you want to pay $5 for a Ben & Jerry's pint of ice cream and they don't have the flavor you've been waiting for weeks. Like it's the chewy gooey cookie, which is basically the Caramel Delights Girl Scout cookie, or I forget what the other name of it is, but it's the one that has the coconut and the caramel and the chocolate drizzle and everything. They have that basically an ice cream for Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's is like my all-time favorite ice cream. My dad got me hooked on it when I was a child. So it's like my ice cream. Like everybody just associates me with Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And I really wanted it. And the last time I went, I couldn't find it. So I settled on something else that I thought was it, but it wasn't. So then I was like, I'm going to find it. I want it. This is like, I didn't get it the last time. So I really want to get it now because this is what I'm like craving. This is what I want. And after the week I've had, honestly was willing to get like 10 of them just to make myself happy. I didn't care how expensive it was, how much it was going to cost me, whatever. Like I was going to get it because I needed it. So I went looking for it and couldn't find it. And I was like, I know I'm not going to cry at the store. Like I'm not the type to like actually break down and cry and scream or anything. I will do that at home or in my car, but I will not do that in a store in public because I at least have some boundaries there. But I literally walked down that aisle, couldn't find my ice cream, and stood there and was like, I could just cry right now. Like I was just literally like, I could just cry. And then I was like walking down another aisle, one of those random, let me just walk down an aisle to get away from people, to take a deep breath. Like the people weren't making me mad like they sometimes do. And I was shopping with a lot of older people, which they tend to be slow and kind of like unaware. So I didn't actually have a problem with any of that. Like, everybody was really nice and polite. I was trying to be extra, like, I don't want to say accommodating, but extra like aware of other people so that I wasn't like running up to, like, I wasn't going to turn an aisle, catch up to somebody and get mad that they were there. I was like, somebody could be there. And a couple times I had to wait on people to get out of the way, and I just waited my turn. I just said, thanks, sorry, just going to go by. And I just let it go. Like, I just didn't, like, I didn't make anything worse. I'm going to go into a dark, almost minty, but dark green. It's like a, you can't really see it, but I'm going to go into that, put it on my outer corner. But I felt so hyper like this the entire time I was shopping that I was just like, I need to go home. The whole time I was driving home, I was like, I need to go home and cry. I was like, that is what will help me release all of this, is just go home and have a good cry. And I did have to stop at the liquor store. I wanted to get some stuff. And when I go, I take a shopping cart because I never know what I'm going to pick up. It's the coolest. It's like in a giant warehouse, and you can get a shopping cart to do your shopping. You can get a basket. You can get a cart. They even have boxes. You could like load up a box or something, which I ended up taking a box to get it in my car. This is the prettiest green. It looks a little bit more yellowy green on camera, but it is so pretty. It goes so well with this. I mean, anything goes so well with this sweatshirt. This is what I was wearing last St. Patrick's Day. I'll try and find the video to put in the eye in the cards, but this is what I was wearing last St. Patrick's Day. Man, look at that green. It's like going all the way up. I'm like, I still haven't wiped off my brush or dipped back in or anything. So I'm just carrying it up here, and it's like, look at all of that green. Oh my gosh. I started watching this girl on Instagram. I have no idea what her name is, but I can try and find her and link her in the comments or the description down below. She has been uploading a bunch of eyeshadow tutorial type videos where she will do different fun looks. She did one for Lucky Charms for St. Patrick's Day. She did one with rainbows and clouds. And her whole big spiel, I feel like if you've watched her, you'll know whenever I say it. She always does under eye eyeshadow, and she's like, and also do eyeshadow underneath your eyes on your lower lash line. And she's like, it's not ugly, you're just not used to it, or something like that. It's her whole, you're just not used to it. And I just think that's so funny because I always feel uncomfortable with eyeshadow on the bottom lash line. But then I'm like, well, not everybody's used to that. Some people don't do that. Same with mascara, which I don't know why. I love mascara on my lower lash line, but I always do that. And I'm just like, people just aren't used to it. And ever since she said that, I was like, we can relate to this. Like, she's amazing. I love her. She's like my new favorite beauty person. But the whole point of me bringing her up, she likes to go into the L'Oreal powder foundation and do the outer edge to blend it out. And I think that is the coolest thing. I've never really seen anybody do that. I know they've done one with powders before. I've heard people recommend powders, but I've never seen a powder foundation be recommended. And I think that's fascinating. So I'm like, well, I have that powder foundation that if I want to use it, I can. And I can make that the one that I use to like buff out my outer edges so it's maybe not so horrific. But she inspired me a lot to like get back into makeup and stuff. I kind of took a little hiatus for a while. I got really uninspired, and I also got really busy between work and just personal life that I was just so busy. And like this week, I've just been so insanely like exhausted. Like I went to my nan's for dinner Wednesday and I fell asleep watching Jeopardy. And if you know me, Jeopardy is like one of my favorite shows. So that like doesn't seem like me, but it was like 7:30 and I'm like barely able to stay awake. I ended up having to go to the bathroom. Like I had to leave and go to the bathroom so that I could wake myself up a little bit. And then my nan's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just like really sleepy right now. I just need a minute. I just need to wake up. But man, that green is like, I'm here, guys. I'm here. She's like, welcome to the party. It's me. But, oh my gosh, where's my highlighter brush? Okay. My inner corner brush. It is a MUA professional brush that I got at CVS. And they don't have that brand there anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I get rid of this brush. Well, I think I'm going to go in with mistletoe on this brush. I know I'm a daredevil. And I'm just going to swirl it around, tap it a good bit, get a bunch of stuff, tap that out for the fallout, and then I'm just going to start patting it on my lid. I'm not even going to go in with anything under it, no base, no glitter, glue, or anything. I don't care. I'm just going for it. I'm living life on the edge anymore. I've realized life is short. Do what you want. Live your life. Make mistakes. You can make new ones and not mistakes or bad mistakes, even worse. Like, just keep going. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I had that realization like Wednesday that I was just like, life's short, just do whatever. Because a friend of mine told me she was thinking of moving. And I was like, and it's still accessible, but further away that I won't see her every day. And I was just like, I don't know that I can take that if you were to leave. And I know it's like for the best if she would move, because she had said she's having some like, she wants to be closer to family. And I'm just like, but I don't want you to be closer to family because I want you to be closer to me. But then I'm like, it benefits you in the long run and it's going to help you like achieve your goals and do things that you can't do now. And I was like, I'm going to support you, but I'll be upset. Man, this eye look, stunning. This palette, I swear, if you haven't tried it out or you haven't like tested out Beauty Creations or anything, check them out because it's amazing. I'm going to go with cookie dough now. That green shade was mistletoe in case you don't know. I'm going to put that on my inner corner and really brighten up that inner corner. But yeah, after everything with work and me arguing with my boss all week pretty much, we were dealing with kids. I was running around like a chicken with her head cut off yesterday. I still have work from Wednesday that I have not done because I have no time to sit at my desk to actually do it. Because we had an impromptu staff meeting this morning that took so long. By the time it was done, I literally clocked out and left. Like, I clocked out, talked to one of my coworkers for 10 minutes. We griped about our boss for 10 minutes, and then I left. And I was just like, I got to get out of here. I was like, my vacation is starting now, or my weekend is starting now, so I'm leaving. I'm going. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour bronzer. I have the shade Fair. I was like, I don't know what the shade is. And I was like, I saw it really small in the back. I was like, oh, it's Fair. Sometimes I switch up and do my bronzer, blush, highlight first before my eyes, and then other times I do this, or yeah, before I do this before my eyes, or I do this after my eyes. I used to do it a lot after my eyes, and then I just kind of was like, let's do the base first. But I never do my eyes first because I'm just not comfortable with my eyes going first. But that's just me. Because I like putting my foundation over everything, brows, lid, you name it. I feel like I'm all over the place with this video, guys. I just needed to talk out loud. And it's hard to do that when you don't really have too many people to talk to. Like, I haven't really seen anybody since work. So I've kind of, I met my friend for lunch. So I can't say that. Since I met my friend, I haven't seen anybody. So I've just been kind of like talking to my cat, talking to my TV, talking to my phone. Like, but yeah, I hope you guys are all having a better week. I hope you have a good St. Patrick's Day. I hope you all stay safe and don't get in any trouble. Don't do anything you regret. Or if you do, make it a safe decision, not one that could end terribly. I'm going to go in with ColourPop Flexitarian Super Chalk Cheek. I don't use it much, but I want something blinding. My cousin is having a skating party tonight. Ever since my dog tripped me a couple years ago, right around my birthday actually, and I had to limp. We went shopping out of town, and I had to limp the entire time because my ankle was swollen and it was in so much pain. I'm pretty sure I did something to it, and I've just never fixed it. So if I go on long walks or I do too much, my ankle starts to bother me. But because of the left turns, it puts so much pressure and weight on my feet because I can't cross my legs to do the turn. I'm literally crossing my legs now and you can't see it. But I cross my legs to do the turn that I like can't skate anymore because it's so painful. I can do like maybe 2 songs worth like 10 minutes at max, and then I'm like I have to go. Like I can't do this anymore. Like I am like aching right now. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Dew Mist. So to keep going with the green, we're going to use Essence Lash Princess. I haven't used this one in a while because I've been using some new stuff. So we're going to go back to it because I know it's great and I love it. But yeah, I have been feeling pretty crappy. And then today with Wattpad and my boss and just like the overall crappiness of life, I have just hit like an all-time low. And I'm just like really struggling, but I'm hanging in there. My makeup looks really good. It didn't take me as long as it usually does, so that's nice. I'm trying to work on getting faster with doing my makeup because sometimes it's like a full-blown hour, and I cannot do my makeup before work if it takes an hour. I do not wake up early enough, and if I were to just wake up at my normal time and take an hour, I would never get to work. Like, it would be like noon by the time I get there. Not really, but, you know, it could. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just like so frazzled. And I've sort of kind of been able, somebody told me that they found one of my stories on Wattpad in their library. So I was able to find my favorite one in my library. Not, well, one of my two favorites. I was able to find it. So I was able to like screen record a couple chapters, and I typed out one, but then realized that like there's so much to my stories that like that would take forever, and I don't have the time. And you can't copy and paste on Wattpad unless you're actually editing the story yourself. And since I don't have access to do that, that's not possible. Because I was able to do that to my other stories that I think could potentially be taken off or whatever, because I don't have them saved elsewhere. I know. You don't need to judge me. I know. I've already beat myself up over that. I knew I needed to, and then I just never did. And then it was like, well, and now look what happened. It's happened before with laptops, so I know now to do it. What lip do we want to use with this look? I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal Vinyl Superstay Vinyl Ink, whatever, and Captivated. It looks like this. It's just a nice, it's kind of the color of the transition shade that I used on my eyes. So it'll kind of blend together maybe. I don't know. I just want something nude and basic so my eyes can pop. Yeah, I know that I should have saved my stories, and I didn't, so that's my fault. But I'm able to get one at least somewhat back, so I'm hoping I can get it all and then rewrite it somewhere else, so then I have it at least for myself. Because I spent like a good 2 years writing one of my stories, and I'm still in that universe. The other story took like a year. One of them took 2 years. I'm still in both of the universes for other like sequels and stories and whatnot. I didn't even put my hair back. I just went willy-nilly with my hair or with my makeup, but it looks really good. I actually really like it. It's the eyes, I'm telling you. I have blue eyes, and green actually looks really good when like green is one of those that I don't feel like I pull off well, but then I do it and I'm like, wow, that looks great. But then I'm like, oh, green. I think it's blue. Blue was my main problem, but we're going to work on it. We've tried, but we'll work on it. But yeah, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm hoping I can get them back. I'm hoping that I can find a solution. I was thinking of going on to Patreon, but then I'm like, I don't want to charge people to come look at my stuff because Wattpad was free, and I'd be uncomfortable asking all my Wattpad followers to go to Patreon with me and then pay, because I would never want people to have to pay on Wattpad to view my stories either, because I hate that. But I did follow somebody one time. She was uploading on Wattpad. Then she's like, I'm going to switch to Patreon so I can do stuff that's a little more risque that like she knew Wattpad wouldn't like, which it really was. It was a little like, it was more Tumblr-esque if you ask me. And it was just about a relationship, but whatever. It wasn't anything like gross. It was just a relationship, but she got real sexual. And I followed her over, and she only charged like 99 cents a month. So I really didn't mind paying it. But then after a while, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to not do this anymore. Like, I'm not interested. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not leaning that way. Like, I'm just going to like, I'm going to go back to my like PG-13 stuff, not my rated X stuff. I was like, that's a little too much for me. But I was just like, maybe I could do that because then I'd make money, because I've never been a part of a paid program from Wattpad. I'd like to get books published, but I'm not good at finishing stories. I just like to keep them going because I love them so much. And maybe that's just my problem. I love too hard. But I feel like that's my problem in life. I love too hard and then it bites me in the butt. But I'm still thinking about it. I'm still trying to figure things out. I feel like I'm still early on in my writing. I'm still trying to figure out my writing path and like what I want to do with it. I know I don't want to make it a career, but I'd love to make it like a side project where if it could make me money, that'd be great. Just like Wattpad, or yeah, just like YouTube. But I feel like I'm kind of sluggishly moving along on YouTube. I don't feel like I'm like catching up like I want to, but I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to put out more content, do more things, do stuff, but I'm kind of running low on ideas. And I feel like you have to be creative to do things on YouTube. And that's my problem. So I don't know if that'll actually work for me, but I'm at least trying. So I don't know. If you have any thoughts or ideas, put them in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. I know it was just for me to vent and ramble on and just talk about my day and how anxious I am as a person, but thank you for watching this video, especially if you made it this far. I really appreciate that. I know it's kind of hard watching other people talk about stuff mental health wise or just complain about things. And I don't like to do that all the time because I know that people get tired of it. So I am very grateful for you guys. I'm very grateful I have this platform, as small as it may be, as low of viewers as I may have. You're still great people, and there's still 130, I think 5 is where I'm at, 34, something like that, that are like wonderful human beings that just happen to follow me. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell down below so you get notified when I upload my next video. All of my socials, my Wattpad, all of that will be listed down below if you're interested. If you'd like to go to Wattpad, if you already have one, or if you want to create one and follow me, I would really appreciate it. I think it would mean so much, and I feel like it might help Wattpad change their minds, or at least give me access to adjust things so that they follow the guidelines better, because maybe that's the problem, but I'm not really understanding what I did wrong. So I'm working on figuring that out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.